pounds has been about the average. As you lose weight and as you take these Bella Melts, it's going to help lower that blood sugar in your body as well.
All the information is there. MelissaHouseBG.com, MelissaHouseBG.com. Just now introducing for the first time Bella Melt with GLP-1 fast action.
Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. This Monday that has not been shy to be a flat Monday. It's like a double Monday more than anything. We're live on worldviewtube.com, worldviewtube, or Rumble and X account, worldviewtube app, which is available for free on your app store. We're also live on X America News, and we're live on my platforms on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X, and Substack. So join the conversation if you like. That always helps get through the show, especially a show like today. Also, if you don't mind, share whichever platform you're watching, share the feed, make comments, click the like button. That way you help us get on the algorithm, because if you think the algorithm helps shows like me, they don't. Let's start on the very positive side. I got to give a shout out to those of you who joined me last Saturday, on my Substack and YouTube. I announced it earlier, day before or 2 days before, but on Saturday, what we did was I went live, very casual, nothing fancy, casual live, as I worked on my audiobook. And you guys showed up, and the ones who showed up, you guys showed up. It was amazing how many of you were willing to take 2 hours out of your Saturday to literally teach me how to pronounce certain words that I either comfortably mispronounced, like a strategic, which now I know it's a strategic, and words that I would never even try or attempt to pronounce, and you patiently using comment section, nonetheless, you weren't in my ears, so I couldn't hear how you're saying it. But all of you put the efforts to help me not only pronounce them, get through. We got almost half of chapter 2 done. But as I said, I think there are certain words that moving forward I can pronounce properly, or at least attempt to do. Some of them are still a little hesitant. Hi, everybody on Substack. I see you guys. And that was the thing. YouTube showed up, but Substack showed up. Amazing. Hi, Pookie. Good to see you on YouTube. And Rapture Ready, always good to see you on YouTube. Let me say hi to you guys. Hi, Lori. Great to see you. I know you had a company, and I know you went back and watched it later, but I do look forward to having you live on the next read. And yes, we will be doing that again. We'll go live probably next Saturday, and I will take advantage of your love and patience to learn more pronunciations as I get that book or audiobook done. Hey, Christine, good to see you. I got your email. Love it. I'll write you back, but thank you for sharing. That's amazing. Christine, there's a word, and everybody is doing their best to get me to say it. And Christine shows up, inserting a W in a place everybody's doing a U and trying to say like quit. And that's it. I pick it up and it's perfect. I'm like, you see, she acknowledged my pronunciation, where U, V, and W are all the same to me. So she knew if she puts a W in there, I'm just going to flawlessly say the word. So that was pretty awesome. Roy, great to see you. Tana, good to see you as well. Teresa, Skit, see, I'm listening, Skit. Donna, Sherry, and everybody else. Agreed, Teresa. It was awesome. It was fantastic. And that's where I want to start. Hey, Justin. I'm scared to say your first part of your handle, so I'm just going to call you Justin, unless you want to join on breaking down how to pronounce your name. You guys are spoiling me. Stacy, great to see you. Yes, Sherry, you missed it, and that's all right. It is archived for subscribers only, not paid, but subscribers only. It is available on my Substack as archive. You can go back and watch. Thank you, Lori. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. We missed you Saturday. Next Saturday, Lord willing, next Saturday is the next live read where I will learn more words, hopefully, or not. I don't know. We did pretty good. It was amazing. Again, it's not it's, as you know, I don't have family members. I don't have, I should say, I don't have, I was about to say here in America, it's like, I don't have family members in the end of my sentence. But it's good to know that there are certain people who are willing to literally, nonetheless, on a Saturday afternoon, we started at like 5 p.m., I think, Eastern time, went until like 7:20 or something. You guys were so committed. It's like, that made me feel really good. Outside of achieving those pages of the audiobook, it was the feeling, which is where I'm going to connect. Yes, we have some stuff to talk about. Well, there's a lot to talk about that I have chosen not to necessarily dedicate today to, but I want to talk on a more personal level. And everybody is more than welcome to take it however you want to take it, because that's one of the things. Yesterday evening, when I finished work, I sat there, I'm like, girl, you don't even have weekends, you don't have mornings, you don't have night, like you're just constantly doing, and it's okay, but let's sit down and do numbers. By the way, when I say numbers, I don't mean money numbers. I gave up on that. I those of you who know me, I always say God provides, and He does. I'm by no means wealthy. I pretty much, though I don't have a paycheck, but I'm paycheck to paycheck. But there's a roof over my head, and I have enough to eat and keep my kitties happy, feed them, and bills are paid. So I don't, when I said it numbers, it wasn't the money numbers, it was the numbers, in general numbers. I'm like, okay, so you're putting all these hours, so many hours, and where are we going with this? So I did the numbers. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. Hey, Zach, good to see you. Oh, Pookie, look at you multitasking. I gotta go back and watch whenever Hedier is live. While I'm live, I have to go back and watch it later. Awesome. And Rapture, ready? Looking forward. I'm glad you got a new Gmail, and look forward to seeing you. I now hope you got my new book order. I didn't see anything on email. Yes, Spooky, I did get your order, and I will work on getting that out. Good to see you, Brian, on Substack. You were such a major help. I appreciate you, Brian, your patience, and you kept it light. That was awesome. Perfect, Soybean. Then I won't call you Justin. I will call you Soybean. There we go. That's easier. Okay, back to it. So I put the numbers together across all platforms, and it got to where I made a post this morning on X, Facebook, Substack. It applies less to my Substack because you guys are very engaged. I'm going to literally read what I wrote because it just sounds better. This letter was, or post formed in a letter, or a letter formed in a post, was to my silent majority supporters. Because we all know there is such a thing as silent majority. Now, a few years ago, I did a live on my Facebook by itself, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, addressing silent majority in general. But today I directly addressed my silent majority supporters. Now, I didn't realize what is the percentage of my silent majority until yesterday. I sat there and I actually pulled numbers, algorithm, breakdowns, dashboard, numbers, all of it. And for me, here's the sad part. Get ready. And I do want to know from those of you who are engaged, maybe I am looking too much into it. Maybe I am asking for too much, but just so you get a sense of the number, my silent majority of my supporter are 97% of my numbers. I only got 3% all across all platforms, 3% who are engaged one way or another. And when I say that includes a simple like when I post something, just a simple like, that's within that 33%. The 97% are the ones that are doing nothing, not liking, not commenting, not sharing, not donating, not buying, nothing. So I wrote this. I said to my silent majority supporters, thank you for being here. Truly, I am grateful that you are here. But your silence is creating real consequences. It is discouraging the very people who are speaking up, the ones taking the hits, the ones who say what you think but won't say out loud. When there is no visible support, it looks like we are standing alone, even when we are not. It also strengthens the shadow bans. Platforms don't read minds, they read engagement. No likes, no comments, no shares means the system assumes the message doesn't matter and it buries it. It feeds the algorithm push down content that should reach thousands and that with only a few hundred views because the people who agree stay quiet. Sorry. I just lost my post because that's Facebook. There we go. And worst of all, it signals something to the other side. It tells them we are passive, that we see what's happening and we won't even lift a finger, that we are comfortable watching others fight while we remain unseen. That is surrender disguised as support. I'm not asking you to put yourself out there or in danger like I do. I'm asking you to do the minimum that still matters. Like, comment, share. That's it. One tap tells the algorithm this matters. One comment tells the creator they are not alone. One share puts truth in front of someone who needs to see it. You don't need a platform to make a difference. You just need to stop being silent. And I want to expand on this. I'm not discouraged, but for the record, I'm not discouraged. Am I very disappointed after I pulled my numbers? I was. I didn't realize how much I'm doing for such a big number of silent majority. Now, a good friend of mine today was like, why would you even call them silent majority supporters if they're absolutely quiet? They're not supporting, they're reversing, which to an extent I agree. I'm going to go to my Facebook for a minute. I have 51,000 followers on Facebook. And it's not like I gained 51,000 supporters 6 years ago because my video went viral and that's it. No, it has been a consistent build. Like, for example, just from 12 days war of last year until today, when the 12 days war started, I only had 42,000. So it's just 10,000 within just that less than a year of window. So it's a consistency you see in the pickup of 51,000 followers. And this morning, when I shared my morning Substack, it reached about 500 people with 0 likes, comments, or shares. I didn't have time to track it after that, but that was 500 people who saw it and decided to not react, even if it's a thumbs down, if it's a calling me out thing, right? Nothing on Facebook. I'm going to go to my book for a minute. I want to repeat, I'm not discouraged, but I need to point these out because sometimes today it's about me. I'm talking to my supporters, but this applies to a lot of other smaller creators that you see disappear. I can name names, but I won't. I will not. But 10 years ago, there were people that you saw me with. We did shows together, we did events together. And one by one, they faded. And this is why. I probably haven't faded because, first of all, I don't know. I'm just that person. Secondly, I don't have a life. I don't have a husband. I don't have a mother. I don't have family. I don't have kids. I don't, this is my life. So I'm still around. Not that I'll be always around, but I'm pointing it out. So you understand, those of you who sit there, watch my show the whole hour and just watch. You don't like it, you don't share it, you don't comment, you don't encourage, you don't discourage either. You think you're part of this fight, but what you don't understand, as I mentioned on my post, you're showing me numbers that are completely diffused. So to me, I'm talking about myself right now, and then we talk about other creators. To me, it's like, okay, I know my content is extremely rare, that I know. Not because I'm American, because I look everywhere else and nobody's touching on the things I touch because probably they don't even know it's happening. I am not the best writer in the world, but I am when it comes in Farsi, and I know I write everything in Farsi and then use translation to make it English. So I know my content on writing is also fairly good. I know the book I wrote has some of the biggest names, and I want to be very blunt here. I had people who told me I can pay bigger names to write blurbs for me. I said, I don't want big names. I want real people. When Robert Spencer was the guest on the Glazov gang, when we started recording, I didn't even know Robert's going to talk about my book, but he did. I didn't even ask. He generously plugged my book as the most unique written book when it comes to jihad and the perfect timing it needed to come out. So I know the book is valuable. It's not about who wrote it, it's that the product, the final product. So across all of my platforms only, we're not talking about Brandon House, Jamie Glazov, Daniel Greenfield, Robert Spencer. We're not just my own platforms, which is a small platform. I have about 120,000 followers, YouTube, Rumble, Substack, Facebook, X, Instagram, all of it, about 120,000. And we barely touched 1,000 copies sold this morning. That is 0.89% of my supporters. So not even 1% of my supporters care, who kept asking for a book. Not even 1% could bother in 30 days. And I waited for 30 days. So it's like, I was waiting for my tax return. I was waiting for my paycheck. I get all of that. So 30 days later, today's exactly 30 days since the book was launched. And all possible audiobook is working on, but from Kindle to Kindle Unlimited to paperback, less than 1% of my supporters across all my platforms were willing to put their money where their mouth is, and furthermore, put their time into what they requested. So if you were me, a normal me, not a Ina's me, what would you do? Forget it. Why would I write another book? Why? And that's the thing. When you're me and you write a book, if it wasn't for Jamie Glazov and Michael Lauer, this book would not happen. They're the one poke. It's like, you can do it. Write it in Farsi. Take the time to translate. We'll help you. Just write it. It wasn't an easy step. And again, that's not including, I have been on Brian House probably good 12 times since the book came out, and he's been plugging it every time. Jamie Glazov the same way, Front Page Magazine the same way, many other platforms. So when you look at that whole thing, you're like, I understand why many people, well, everybody, legit people have walked away. Legit people have walked away. That's why you barely find ex-Muslims talking anymore. Because it's not, there's a difference. Someone who says, as Robert Spencer said, many have written on jihad. But when a daughter of a sheikh, a daughter of a Quran teacher, a ex-Muslim former child bride writes about it, there's a way different weight into it. Right? But you sit there, I sat here, not here in my living room. Last night, I'm like, again, that's just a book. I can go over how I have about 6,000 subscribers on my YouTube, and my very new series that I started, which I was like, attention. So it's 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. We will play it after the ad break. Got like 80 views. And again, this is not about shadow ban. If anybody wants to claim it's shadow ban, I don't see your post, well, take the time to go to my page. I have been pushed on their shadow ban because 97% of my supporters don't follow through with me. On Substack, it's different. I had a show scheduled. I had to cancel my show. I can name names, but for sake of not naming, I had 7 of you write me immediately 5 minutes into the show to me like, are you okay? You didn't go on air. So, okay. But no one else was even thinking of, wait, did she cancel her show or did they get her? Again, this isn't about caring for INOS as an individual. It's about putting your time, money, and efforts where your mouth is. And I will say this last sentence before we go to our ad break. When we come back, I'll read your comments. I did a TikTok a few months ago, and I normally, when I do a TikTok, if it's a serious note, it's something that I believe in. And I tend to support what I believe in. I tend to put my action behind what I believe in. And one of the things I believe in that is now absolutely evident from that TikTok saying until today is I cannot help people who are not willing to participate in their own rescue. And to the 97% of my supporters, I can't help you. If you're not willing to participate in your own rescue, there is nothing more I can do after 10 years of finishing it with a book. So I encourage you to encourage me by getting involved, because that will be very helpful. With that note, let's go hear from our first sponsor or advertiser, and we'll be back to continue this discussion.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thanks so much for staying with me until now, if you did, because normally when I go on those rants, which wasn't a rant, it's an actual topic, most people don't. So thank you for staying with me. And Norwex is one of my affiliates. If you make a purchase from CyrusWellness.com, which is Norwex product, percentage of your purchase will be commissioned back to me, which financially supports what I do. And I do love their products anyways. It is literally legit, 100% chemical free, and it keeps my home, me, my clothes, everything very clean. Hey Diana, good to see you. I am glad that you just found me on your feed on YouTube. Welcome aboard. And I'm glad you immediately decided to comment. You see, it wasn't that hard. Doreen says, what about the midterms? We're going to get to midterms. Actually, this is it. This is what about the midterms. When you have such a huge silent majority in the country, your midterms are coming, and I call it the storm. The midterm storm is coming, and we are so blind to everything that's going to play a role that we need to address it. And again, I can only address it. I can't make people to stand up. I can't make people to pay attention, nor can I make people actually think about what's coming. But we'll get to the midterms in a little while. Pookie said Trump has 8 more days, then maybe Congress will Trump 30 more days if needed. Pookie, what do you mean by 8 days? 8 days on what? Because tomorrow, if you're referring to the Iran situation, the ceasefire is supposed to expire tomorrow, and they're in Pakistan doing their talks, and he can either renew the ceasefire or they can go back into, and that gives him 60 days. So I don't know what you mean by 8 days. Doreen, be patient, darling. All cap doesn't help. Pookie says, Inez, do you believe Trump will pull out in next 7 days? Your perspective? I think I kind of just addressed that. This is gonna be an ongoing situation. I said this last week and week before that. There is no pulling out, there is no ceasefire, there is no finishing it. Unfortunately, this is where it's gonna be. It's gonna be, let's talk so we can agree that we can't agree, and then let's throw a couple of bombs and then come back to talks again and then call a ceasefire. Now, from our end, United States of America, since a few of you are getting very antsy about the midterms, let me address this real quick. Midterms are coming, and for right or wrong, President Trump has decided to get involved in a war in Middle East with Iran. The right or wrong part of it I have addressed before, but we are in middle of war with Iran. While narrative is projecting that we got involved because of Israel, while we also have a World Cup coming to America, which I did the part 1 of my Substack on World Cup today. We are facing national security inside the country in 45 days, 52 days, I think, if we talk about kickoff. But a lot of travels, a lot of visitors are going to come in a few days before the kickoff. So around between June 8th and June 10th is when the movement happens. And at this point, I don't believe that President Trump has the luxury, not through presidency, through his own position. He does not have the luxury to call it quits, because then it's going to come back to hunt him as followed. What did we achieve? What did we achieve? Nothing. Regime is still in power. IRGC is still there. Hamas is there. Hezbollah is active. Houthis are funded. So yes, we could say we destroyed a lot of buildings and facilities. Okay, that's not an achievement. That's not a victory, regardless of how we sell it in different formats by different people. So there is no luxury of quitting it. He will have to try to create a ceasefire out of this, which we did last week. I wrote about that on my Substack as well, where it was phrased as a win. We got control of the Strait of Hormuz, which doesn't exist. Clearly lasted about an hour and a half, I think. There's a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, which lasted 20 seconds between Hezbollah and Israel. But the phrasing is going to have to be it's ongoing, but not on the war end. It's not an ongoing war, it's an ongoing ceasefire. That is the only option left on the table. And again, if you just joined me, if you don't know me, I'm an Iranian American. I was born in Iran. I have spent most of my life, which is 24 years out of 42 years, in America. And I have taken oath to defend America against enemies, foreign and domestic, and I take that oath very serious. So this isn't about me being anti-American. This is not about me defending the regime in Iran. This is the way the formula is written. So however you want to translate my analysis, that is absolutely up to you, because I cannot get into your brain and rewire it. But the truth of the matter is, right now where we're at, they're not budging. We're not continuing. We can't afford to continue bombing, because if we do that, it's an active war. We can't go into the summer of World Cup, after that into the fall of midterms in middle of active war overseas. We could, I should be more precise with my words. It's an option, but it's a terrible option. And even if Trump decides to go with the terrible option, there are still enough people in that administration to say, sir, this is absolutely a career suicide. Let's not do that. So what we're going to witness moving forward, literally daily basis, just like we have for last 10 days. Daily basis is next round of negotiation, temporary ceasefire. We have the upper hand. They're scared of us, but then they're not budging. But then we're going to talk again. This is what you're going to see. Again, originally, the reason I said I prefer United States of America staying out of this war, not because it isn't our war, but because the timing for us to actively get involved with a direct war with Iran is a terrible timing for all parties involved, including Israel, including Iranian people who are on the streets. We should stay back as support for Israel and let Israel finish the job. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So we are where we are. My new favorite saying that I do, this is where we landed. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to be a lot of ceasefire, no ceasefire, ceasefire, no ceasefire. We're talking, we don't know. They can't have this, but we're going to give them a day. Within 48 hours, it's done. We're going to destroy them, but we're going to wait. If entire civilization is going to die tonight, but let's see what happens tomorrow morning. That's where the narrative is going to carry on, because logically, there is no better option in front of us. And if our administration chooses to do otherwise, what I have dissected so far of what's happening within those 30 to 45 days of World Cup inside the United States of America will have major consequences. It will have major consequences that's going to bleed right into midterms. It's just going to go there. It's a chain reaction right now. It is what it is. It's 2026. Everybody knew what's coming. Listen, what is happening in 2026 from June until December was preset before this administration took power. Now, how they move their pieces should have been around the events that were scheduled before they started the game. Yes, this is me directly saying whatever comes out of it by December of this year is how the administration, from Trump himself to the vice president, to the advisors, to everybody else, they knew what's positioned within 2026. So starting January 2025 until today, every move they made has created where we are here today. Regardless of all the administrations that have flooded our country with illegals, left the borders open, funded the terrorism, regardless of all of that, where we are today, because events were preset, is the moves that were made until today and moves that are going to be made from today until end of November. We got to go take our next ad break, guys. We're right back. I will check on your comments when we come back. Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with me until now. I greatly appreciate it. Before I head to your comments, because this is kind of very important to me, I don't know. Don't ask why. It just is. So I just launched a new series. The series are only available on my YouTube channel and on my Substack. The links are shared on other platforms, but they're not posted as a standalone. So if you like to watch them, if you like to follow them, you have to either become a subscriber on Substack or go to my YouTube. They're both for free. It's just a matter of clicking. If that's not too much to ask. They're very short, 4-minute, 5-minute. The first one was a little longer, about 6 minutes. The name of the series is The Ones Who Chose Courage. It was put in my heart to do And I had many different reasons to do it. But today, I will tell you, today's reason is those who chose courage. I feel like I need to remind many of my fellow humans that you think you're in a scary situation, you have no idea how worse it would get, and ask yourself the question, will you do the right thing when the time calls? And I figured the best way to do that is to remind people of, history. People who did it, people who risked it all, and not people you hear all over the place. People that you barely heard of or maybe never heard of. It all got a spark from one Substack I did about an Iranian man who did it. And then from there, I decided, let me do these in video format because most people prefer video. Also, I don't know, let's do it video format. The first season, it's going to be Hitler's War. So everything is happening during Hitler's War. And then we'll get to season 2 and 3 when we get there. But the first episode of season 1 was released past Saturday at 7 p.m. And it's going to be every Saturday. And I will not play all of them on my show, but I would like to play the first episode on my show. 1, to get you a sense of what it is. Maybe it does encourage you to go watch it, share it. 2, it ties to what I just said. Silence versus action behind what we believe, and how it can change the income. So Thomas, if it's okay, let's roll that 5-minute, 49-second or so video, and I'll be back after that, guys. Hello and welcome to the ones who chose courage. I am Inez Annie Cyrus, and I will be your storyteller. There are names history made sure we remember. The leaders, the generals, the ones who stood on the stages and spoke to nations. Their stories are told over and over again, and they've earned their place. But that's not what this series is about. Because in human history, in moments when the world was shifting, collapsing, or choosing silence, there were others. People with no power, no armies, no guarantees they would survive what they were stepping into. They saw what was happening clearly, and they made a decision. Not later, not when it was safe, in real time. Because knowledge without courage changes nothing. And this series is about those people. The ones who chose courage when it mattered. And today, we begin with one of them. A man sitting behind a desk in Kaunas, Lithuania, in the summer of 1940. His name was Chione Sugihara. He was the acting Japanese consul, a mid-level diplomat, not a decision maker in Tokyo, but responsible for following orders. And the situation outside his consulate was becoming impossible to ignore. Thousands of Jewish refugees had fled into Lithuania after Nazi Germany invaded Poland in 1939. Now, the Soviet Union was taking control of the region. Escape routes were disappearing, borders were closing, and those gathered outside Sugihara's office knew something most of the world refused to face. If they didn't get out, they wouldn't survive what was coming. They needed transit visas, not to stay in Japan, but to pass through it. From Lithuania, across the Soviet Union, by train, to the port city of Vladivostok, and then by ship to Japan. From there, they could try to reach safer countries. Without that visa, they were trapped. Sugihara sent a request to Tokyo. He asked for permission to issue visas to these refugees. The answer came back, no, they don't meet the requirements. He sent another request. No. A third time. No. And this is the moment that matters, because the rules were clear, and he understood them. But he also understood what those rules meant in reality. So, he made a decision. He began issuing the visas anyway, by hand, each one taking several minutes to complete. Names, dates, destinations, for hours at a time, up to 18 hours a day for weeks. It's estimated he issued around 2,000 to 3,500 visas himself. But because those visas often covered entire families, historians estimate that as many as 6,000 people survived because of those documents. Then came the final order. The consulate was being shut down. Sugihara was told to leave. Even then, he didn't stop. He continued writing visas as he packed. He continued writing them on his way out. And when he boarded the train to leave, he was still signing them, handing them through the window to people running alongside the train until the last possible moment. After the war, there was no celebration, no recognition. He was dismissed from Japan's foreign service. He spent years working ordinary jobs, quietly. It was until decades later that the people he had saved began to find him. Families. Children who had survived, now grown. Entire generations alive because one man chose to act. Some decisions are made in public, others are made quietly behind a desk with no audience and no guarantee anyone will ever know. This was one of those decisions. If you know of someone who chose courage in a moment like that, I want to hear their story. And if this story meant something to you, if understanding the system behind moments like this matters to you, that is exactly why I wrote The Architecture of Jihad. And if you'd like to support this work so I can keep telling these stories, the links are below. Thank you for being with me. This has been The Ones Who Chose Courage. I'm Ainaz Annie Cyrus, and I'll see you next Saturday. Can you imagine that thousands of people who wouldn't survive, who wouldn't leave to see the next day, their next generation? If for one moment, Sugihara would say, my boss said no, sorry, I can't lose my job. I need my paycheck. Take a step further. If he would sit there and say, well, if I do this and they find out, what is Hitler going to do to me? One man, one decision, and that man following through with that decision. That's what our actions can do, guys. Again, I'm not sitting here asking you to do anything I have not done myself, and I will continue doing. But one man, and again, this is episode 1 of season 1. I already have over 43 names ready to be produced. And it'd be my honor to produce every single one of these short videos. But my point is, one by one. And back then, there was no social media, so almost guaranteed nobody would ever know. If those he saved would never tell his story or go find him, he didn't do it for the reasons nowadays is more popular to do. He did it because it was the right thing to do. And that's why I wanted to start with, I am not discouraged. This isn't me quitting. This isn't me not doing it anymore. This is me telling you that you make a difference. Every single one of us in our own corner of the world have the time and the talent to make a difference. We don't have to be famous. We don't have to be wealthy. We don't have to be a great writer. We don't have to have perfect accent. We don't have to be bilingual. We don't. Every single one of us were born with time, which is the most precious, right? And with a gift, whatever that gift might be. Imagine if, just coming back to my tiny platform, imagine if every single one of 120,000 people would take them extra a split second of clicking share on the platforms, can you imagine how many more people possibly would understand what Islam is? Can you imagine how many more people possibly would understand that anti-Semitism is skyrocketing in their country and it's false? Just one platform. Annalise says, thank you, Inos, made me weep that this man had such great love for his fellow human beings. Yes, ma'am. You heard the final product. Trust me, that voiceover was not recorded in one take, and it wasn't the accent issue. It was trying to not get choked up or not cry while trying to record it. Yes, and they all deserve to be heard. And again, that's the thing. I said, I'm like, okay, what? There is so much I can do, but of course, I don't have enough time or budget to do all of it. But okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's remind people. First of all, they deserve, though history, or better yet, people chose not to make their name big. See, historically, that has been the case. Those who are chosen to become the highlight and the big names, and those who did better, but always stayed either unknown or small names. And I feel like I'll do my part to make sure their names becomes as big as anybody else, because they deserve to be known, and they deserve to be known because the more they are known, the more of us can over here say, listen, I'm in much better shape. Why don't I do the right thing today before I might have to choose to do it when it's a matter of my life or death, which in my case already is there. But for those who aren't there yet, there's still time for you to do it before you have to choose between, do I save my own life or do I try to save others? Though mine might get cut short. Sandra, you might need to exit and come back. Seems like Sandra's feed is frozen. Yes, people can easily be manipulated without having knowledge, but then people who refuse the knowledge are bigger problem. My YouTube channel, Annalise and everybody else asking, is either Live Up to Freedom or my own name. I know Zanny Cyrus. It's the name of the channel is Live Up to Freedom. The handle is my name, so you can find it under either one. Okay. So these will be coming every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We just do them as we can. And to my Substackers, the next one, I will call back. Then that for the next one, not episode 2, but episode 3 or 4, I might actually do it with you guys, since we established that it's fun to do it together. So the next time I do one of these, the ones who chose courage, I will do it live on Substack. We got going. MZ Tingley 231 on a Rumble. Good to see you. I appreciate you making a comment. I am very grateful for your purchases at my art store. That is great. And I'm glad you picked up a copy of the book yesterday. Dan Dreyer, always good to see you. Good afternoon. Dan is the only person who always comments on my Rumble. Can you believe that? Like, just one person who's committed. Dan. It's like, and he may not even say much, just like good afternoon or hello, Annie, or God bless, something, but he makes sure that I know he's there. It's like, hey, Dan's on Rumble, which is awesome. Oh no. Okay. My end is looking as pretty good on Substack, guys. So if you're having Substack issue, that's Substack, not our feed. Thank you, Martin. Martin says, I know Cyrus rocks. Kept on serving truth, Annie. The United States need your voice, my friend. I don't know if you just joined us, but I was saying earlier that I cannot help people who are not willing to participate in their own rescue. I will not stop delivering the truth, history, humanity messages, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily going to rescue anyone either if they're not participating in their own. Oh, okay, good. We're back on. Skit. So I'm gonna be phasing out any Cyrus Unfiltered YouTube channel. I can't keep a splitting audience between two channels, and they have demonetized me on that channel. So gradually, I'm gonna be phasing out Aki News altogether. It was a project. It was a great project, but I'll be phasing that out to just stay with my main channel, which is Live Up to Freedom, also my name. So, I don't know, and I don't need to know if this show made a difference for those who are quietly watching what is happening. But I hope it did. And I hope by tomorrow you decide that spending 2-3 minutes a day on one, showing your support to those of us who are literally putting our 24/7 into this. And I want to not brag, but inform those of you who may not know, because some of you have not been here from day one. I chose this path right about the time that between my runway modeling and building websites, web coding, I was cashing in way too much money to think that one day I might have to ask my audience to please become a paid subscriber because I'm short on my bills. So, point being, I do have other talents given to me by God. I'm a web developer, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a producer. I also write scripts for other programs. And I also am a technical director for some live shows that are airing out there. This isn't about money. This is not my career. I dropped my Hollywood career as a still photographer on set of Paramount Pictures to be here. This is about doing the right thing, even if some days I have to sit here and remind some people that doing the right thing is never easy. But when you do it, it is so rewarding that you don't regret what you left behind. And if you need to confirm the things I'm saying, that's easy thanks to internet. Just look up my name, add a model, actor, producer, still photographer, go to IMDb. You see my credits of the movies I've been a still photographer on. So when I asked you to encourage me with your actions, it's even to my fellow Christian, that's biblical, because faith without action is left alone. And if we believe, I believe in this fight, I believe Islam is dangerous, I believe we need to save our country, and you put no action behind that belief, then do you really believe it? Or do you believe because it's fashionable to believe? There's a difference. Tying it back into coming from fashion industry, trust me, there's a difference between taking action, putting action behind your belief versus believing because that's the better thing to do. Thank you, Sandra. Yes, Sandra says, I am one of Ina's Substack paid subscribers, and I encourage you all to become one too. There's nothing wrong with sharing your needs. You are a blessing. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. Yes, even when I was not here on camera or on Substack or anything, when I was just the name and a stat somewhere in Los Angeles, California, I have always been that person. I prefer to be transparent. I prefer to say, this is where I'm at, this is what I have, this is how I look, this is how I talk, and I let others choose to be part of it or not be part of it. Yeah, that's just more convenient, right? I don't have to remember when I said what and match that lie or forget about the lie and then, have to come out and fight propaganda. One of the reasons I was asked by someone that how come you're never involved with any, online drama and catfight, I said there is nothing to get involved there. I come on air, I say what I say, I leave. They have tried to find a hole in my story, they couldn't. My immigration paperwork is there, they can see that is where I come from, that is what happened to me. So keeping it clean is exactly how you avoid the online drama that a lot of creators, a lot of activists, a lot of public figures face, because somehow they decided to make a little bit of a script friendly adjustment, and then that very adjustment came back to bite them, and I don't do that. Thank you, soy boy. I appreciate soybean. Why did I say soy boy? See, my head is elsewhere. Soybean. You see, I should just continue calling you Justin. That's better. And I appreciate you being here very much. Okay, guys, I do need to wrap a minute earlier than usual. Believe it or not, my day is not over. I have to produce a live town hall meetings with California's governor candidates. Right. And that's a live stream of 2 hours. If you want to catch it, by the way, I'll be producing it, but Jeff Durnick is streaming it on Rumble and X, on Pickaxe, and also it's going to be streaming on OANN. So with that being said, because I only have 1 hour gap between my show finishing and that is starting, I need to wrap up a minute early so I can get to my production computer, turn it on, and bring everybody on Zoom, so from there I can produce. See, guys, when I ask, this girl has produced 1 hour and a half live show this morning already. I have produced 2 1-hour pre-recording shows already. Just about to finish my show, and I'm about to produce 2 hours live town hall meeting between all 4 candidates, Republican candidates for California governor coming up in midterms. See, I keep busy. If you like to, I will encourage you to become a paid subscriber on my Substack, especially if you can become either an annual subscriber or a founding member. That's the best. Pick up a copy of my book if you haven't yet. If you have, well, I appreciate you picking it up. Write a review on Amazon. That helps. Go to cyruswellness.com. Cyruswellness.com is one of the best ways to support your home's health, stay chemical-free, and support me financially. And of course, there's my artist studio, lutfstudio.com. Guys, stay safe, stay vigilant. I'll be back tomorrow with a special guest on a little bit of a different topic, but still related to knowledge and education. Until then, bye, guys.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts